Hey guys, Jeeps here, and today we're going to take a look at some Tera Online. Tera Online is currently in its final beta weekend, which will last until the 8th, which is tomorrow, from the day of filming this at least. I don't know when this video will go up, but it was on the 8th if this video is late, and it's tomorrow if this video is early, which is still the 8th. It is an action combat MMO, that's what it's being billed at, and I would agree it's a pretty accurate term. You might be wondering, what the hell does an action combat MMO mean? Well, think about most MMOs you've played. You lock onto a character, you click on whatever you're going to attack, and you hit your buttons, and you hit or miss them based on a percentage chance, probably based on your stats, or if you're healing, you probably just hit them immediately, no matter what, if you're healing your allies. In Tera, instead of that, say I'm swinging this big-ass sword that my dragon man here is holding. If that sword hits someone, it hits them. If it misses them, it misses them. There's no dice roll, there's no percentage chance. If they get out of the way of the sword, they got out of the way of the sword. That's it. Likewise with healing, you shoot your little healing beam at someone. If you miss, they don't get the heal. Of course, there are abilities that can lock on, and it does require actively locking on, and there are AoE abilities which make it a little easier. But yeah, you actually have to aim and think about what you're doing. This is really important for range classes, because then they really do have to aim. So, Tera is coming out on May 1st, and it will be going into open beta on the 19th of April. And interestingly, if you make a character in open beta, they will not be wiped before the release. Closed beta characters will be wiped. This is the final closed beta, so I'm going to be losing my guys here. I haven't played the Dragon Man yet, but my elf back here will be very sad. He will be going away the day after tomorrow. But today we're just going to take a look at the character creation, because the game has a number of races and classes. Every race can be every class, and there are actually some differences outside of just your basic passive and active abilities, because since it's action combat, since you actually have to hit, different sizes means different hitboxes means more difficulty or less difficulty to hit. So let's take a look, shall we? Just load in past this gorgeous loading screen. Can I just say, this game is incredibly gorgeous. I'm recording this on 720p, so it's not looking quite as good as it is when I'd actually be playing it on 1080p, but this is an absolutely fantastic looking game. So yes, here we go. We have our 7 races, and we'll start with the top. We got the humans. They're just about what you'd expect. Tera's humans aren't too different from any other humans. They look like humans. So you got your males, kind of bulky, kind of nice and stocky, look pretty good. And your females, much more slight, and if you hadn't guessed that this was originally an Asian MMO, I think you can tell by the fact that the females are A, gorgeous, and B, not really fully dressed. That armor doesn't seem that effective to me. And I can tell you right now, the heavier the armor gets, the less of it there tends to be. But, so yeah, that's your humans. Next we've got the Kastanic. Kastanic are kind of like elves with horns. Got pretty cool horns, actually, and the males desperately want to be Dante from Devil May Cry. They might also want to be Dante the Poet. I can't vouch for that, though. But, I mean, look at them. That just screams Devil May Cry 3. That coat there. I mean, it's not long enough, but the open chest thing. Very, very DMC. And your females are a little notorious for the Kastanic, because, well, if you thought the human females didn't wear much, these outfits don't even make sense, and trust me, most of them are much more revealing than that. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of Kastanic females on launch. Just a hunch. Next, we have the Amon. In somewhat stark contrast, they are giant, fearsome dragon men. So you saw one of these guys on my character select screen. The males are big, bulky, intimidating. They obviously have a pretty large hitbox compared to the humans and the Kastanics. You can just tell that from how big they are. They are quite a lot taller and quite a lot wider. And the females, which are more slender than the males, but still pretty big. A little less fearsome looking. They do have a little less, I don't know, dragon-like features going on in the face there. But also notably, they're considerably more clothed. I guess the fact that they've got kind of scaly rock skin almost means it's almost immaterial. But it's nice. It's nice that one of the females of the races is wearing something that looks like actual armor, for the most part. Next, we have the Papori. because every game needs the little anthropomorphic animal race. These are the allies of the nature spirit race, which we're going to get to next. That's the Ellen. Notably, they only have males, or I guess presumably they're males. They don't really have a gender option. Originally, Ellen and Papori were the male and female, or female and male, I guess, to get it in the right order, of the same race. And they eventually made them two races. This is back before the game was originally released in Korea, as far as I know. They have some of the most hysterical and adorable animation sets. And you can smoke a pipe as one, which is cool. You can be classy, you can run around with a pipe, be a little pug with a pipe and a monocle. Can't get much better than that. Plus, seeing one of these guys wielding a giant greatsword is amazing because they're not very big, and that sword is about 3 times their size. So, next, speaking of Ellen, we have the Ellen. They are a race of immortal forest spirits that just happen to look like 10-year-old girls. I myself will not be playing an Ellen because I really feel like I would get arrested by the internet police. But they are very, very small. They have a tiny hitbox. I could see plenty of advantages to playing them gameplay-wise. Obviously, they don't have a male setting. Like I said, the Papori were originally that. And yep, so that's the Ellen. Let's move on before I'm on this page too long. All right, the last race that does not have male and female option are the Baraka, the stone giant people. These guys are huge. They're roughly the same height as the Amon, but they are, well, I mean, they're almost as wide as they are tall. These guys are massive. They're meant to actually be kind of the really noble, wise, intelligent race, despite how big they are. They make pretty cool casters. They have a gigantic hitbox. So I could see them making pretty good tanks because of how easy it is for them to heal. So yeah, that's the Baraka. I think they're pretty cool. And finally, because this wouldn't be a fantasy game if there weren't elves in it, like proper elves, not Castanic, we've got High Elves. I would first just like to point out, look at the 2 icons here. If it wasn't for, well, some obvious assets on the female icon here, and the fact that all the female icons have been the one on the right, I think you'd be a bit hard-pressed to tell which of these was the male and which was the female. So, elves, everybody. Elves. I can't say anything negative. I really do love playing as elves. It's what I usually do. But, so you've got the male High Elves. They're fabulous. They are clothing, they're actually not wearing much more clothing than the females. Kind of a trend with the Castanic, too, except the female Castanic are ridiculously underclothed. The males are only kind of underclothed. The male High Elves a little better in terms of wearing, you know, clothing. And then female High Elves. They're wearing evening gowns, apparently. Very impractical evening gowns. But, so yeah, there's your elves for you. So let's dive in a little further. Let's go take a look at some more specific character creation. So we're going to go back to humans. And we'll just settle with the human male. Why not? So next we go on to the classes. Tera has all these classes right here. First of all, you got your warrior. They are the secondary tank class, because they're based on dodging more than taking the hits, like the Lancer, which we'll get to next is. They don't wear heavy armor. They wear medium armor, so, you know, leather and chain and stuff like that. They dual-wield swords, which is pretty cool. They have pretty decent damage for a class that's also designed to be a tank. And frankly, they're just really cool. I mean, they dual-wield swords. It's hard to dislike that. Next, you got the Lancer. Think your protection warrior from other MMOs, except replace your little sword, your little axe, with a lance. I don't know why a lance. Lances are kind of designed to be used on horseback, but no, if you're a Lancer, you're just cool enough that you can just stab people with one, apparently. They wear heavy armor, they have a huge shield and a lance, which actually does count as one weapon in-game. The shield and lance are kind of a paired weapon. Same with the warrior's twin swords. You don't get 2 different swords, you get one weapon, which is a paired blades. And yeah, that's the Lancer. They are the tank that is designed to take the hits. They are very single target from my limited experience with them. They don't dodge so much as they block. I mean, the shields are gigantic. They can take some punishment from the front. Next, the Slayer. Slayers wield big great swords, wear the same armor as warriors, and they just run in there swinging. Since the sword is so big, they have pretty decent AoE, because, like I said before, anything hit by that sword as he swings it is getting hit. In a similar vein, if we're going for giant two-handed weapons, we have the Berserker. That axe is terrifyingly large. And they wear heavy armor and wield a gigantic axe. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Next, Sorcerer, because you gotta have a wizard. At first, I like to say this guy's coat is incredible, and sorcerers use these little discs kind of as a focus for their attacks. Most of these attacks involve shooting fireballs or blasts of ice and stuff like that, but the little disc that they levitate around is their focus. They are kind of the ranged heavy artillery of Tera. They are very much a glass cannon. They wear light armor and can dish out a lot of damage. Sort of similar, because they're the other ranged damage class, is the Archer. I think you can guess what an Archer does. It shoots things with the bow. I really like the little bit I've played as the Archer. They are a nice, maneuverable range damage class. Not quite as just immediately heavy, pitting, nuking as the Sorcerer, but a little bit more survivable and a little bit more mobile. Next, we finally get to our two healing classes. The Priest, which finally you get someone using just a staff. It's a healer. They've got some damage ability, but really they are all about just straight up healing. And they're good at it. And then, last but definitely not least, the Mystic. The Mystic is kind of the support healer. They have a lot more kind of buffing abilities, as well as some direct healing. Buffs and debuffs and auras and stuff like that. They're interesting. I really have little experience with them. I've heard they're actually currently maybe preferred to priests, I think just because of their utility. But those are the two healing classes. They're both ranged, obviously. They're not melee healers. But now, finally, let's really take a look at what you can do to customize your character escape. So we'll just go back and just pick the warrior. And go into next. And here we go. So loading in our human. This is what your starting outfit will be as a human male warrior. And first of all, we have 20 different presets we can choose from. So, you know, you can switch them up to look like that. We can zoom into. This guy's got an almost kind of Wolverine-like beard going on here. Yes, I know it's not exactly like Wolverine's beard. It's close enough. Let me roll with it. Or we got this guy. He's got some nice face tattoos. This guy looks pretty cool. This guy has the most amazing facial hair. But there's only one guy we can go with. And that's the crazy old man. Oh, wow, he has red eyes. I didn't notice that previously. But look at this guy. This guy is intimidating as hell. So we'll just use him as a preset. You can also randomize. If you click this one down here. And I'll just randomize all sorts of different looks for you. But we'll get with our old man. Next, you can go to features. Features are where you can change, for most races, your hair color and your skin color. Hair color, in a lot of cases, will include other things, like, for example, the Castanics, their horns and hair, are one feature. For the Amani, you get kind of a... I guess also it's their horns and hair are also kind of a combined feature. The Baraka don't really have hair exactly, but it's just their head ornamentation. And for things like the Ellen and the Papori, it's the Ellen, their different little animal ears they might have. The Papori, it's what animal they are in general. But yeah, you can customize that here. We're going to actually stick with the long hair we have here, but, we'll take a look at some of the other ones, Here's what we got. We've got some shorter hair options. Kind of more glamorous model hair options. You got the full gamut of hair options. So, let's go back to our long hair. I want the long hair because I want to demonstrate something kind of cool that this game does. Face options. Zoom in on his face. You can go for the super youthful guy. This one, this one. These are kind of limited compared to some... Oh, wait. Sorry. No, they're not. There's 14 of them. We just need to scroll back to the beginning. But there's a lot of these. In fact, I think we might have to go with one of these incredible stashes. But this is also where you can change your skin color fully. Sorry, the last one was just hair color. This is where you change your skin color. I'm dumb. I apologize. But this facial hair is epic. He looks kind of Nordic. There we go. That's pretty good. Next, you got adornments, which generally is tattoos and makeup. Some races will have piercing options. Usually there's not a lot of these, and I've noticed depending on which face you choose, these bottom two adornments often change. So on this one, for example, I can make his mustache a more incredible handlebar mustache. And I think we're going to have to do that. That's just required. There are laws against not choosing that. And I kind of like this little lightning bolt tattoo thing we've got going on. He's still got the creepy red eyes, so... There we go, that's our guy. And then finally, this is where you can get really technical. You go to Fine Details. And here's your sliders, because everyone loves character creation sliders. And there are a lot of them. You have a whole tab for bone structure, eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. And these get in depth. I mean, look how many options you have just for modifying the nose. I can change the bridge width, I can change how wide the tip of my nose is. Nostril flare, you can really go nuts on facial customization, which in a game like this is impressive, because a lot of times you don't spend that much time looking at your character's face. But it is really cool with the options there, and if someone could come up with an incredibly customized character for this game. And I love anything like that. Final two character creation things. Outfit. This is not really customization so much as it lets you preview what your character might look like in later on gear. And this is also where we can demonstrate a really cool feature of this game. So notice we have really long hair. Well, not really long, but we have shoulder-length hair. Enough that it would go past a collar if our shirt had a collar on it. And let me tell you right now, there's a lot of armor in this game that does have high collars. Tera's taken this into account. Most games, that hair would just be clipping through that collar. But let's look at the second outfit here. Suddenly, our hair's tied back in the back, because we have this, I guess it's actually a hood in this case, but just not worn up. And I think this is a fantastic feature, because, I don't know, I'm one of those people that much clipping would really bother me, even if it is a minor detail like that. I mean, there's still a little. The game's not perfect in it, but the fact that it ties the back of your hair up is a really cool feature. But yeah, so let's just preview some of the outfits you can get. It's kind of some more basic leather armor here. Some slightly cooler leather armor. It's kind of like a quilted thing, and there's some metal on there now. That's quite the cool gauntlet and shoulder pad there. And then finally, actually a cool mix of chain and leather. Just gives you a good idea of what your character might look like later on. And as you can see now, hair's back down again, because no high collar. And last but not least, you can customize your voice. So, you know, hear how your character's going to be yelling. Because you're going to be yelling a lot. Because, you know, when you attack, you got to yell. Why wouldn't you yell when you attack? Clearly, he needs to sound like this guy. Yeah, there we go. That's us. So look at our old guy here. Oldie McAwesome Man. So, let's come up with a name for him. I don't think I could just name him Bill. I thought about just naming him Bill, though. There is actually no random name generator, which I find curious given all the other options and the ability to randomize all those sliders and stuff from back in the presets. There's no random name generator. So I'll just... I guess I've already used Atna and I've already used Crodeath. Those are kind of two of my standby names. I wonder if... Let's just use one of my standby names. And it's not taken, so this is Varn. It's our warrior. And he's ready to go. Alright guys, that has been our look at the character creation in Tera. So I'm going to play a bit more of this. I mean, I've got until the end of the weekend in this closed beta. I gotta use it. So I'll show you a bit of the starting zone. Well, we might take Varn in, or we might jump on our Dragon Man here. And then I'll probably jump on Atna to show you a bit of the higher level stuff. He's level 22, so I can show you a bit more about abilities, a bit more about chaining skills. And it'll be a bit more than you see just after completing the starting zone, or definitely more than in the starting zone. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen here. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. I've been Jeeps, and I will talk to you guys later.